You might want to increase the range of movement. Pushing your shoulders away from your ears in the cat, exhaling. Deep breaths. Couple more. Good, into child's pose, knees together, extending the arms, keeping strength in the arms. Head to the mat. And the inhale, pushing your belly out. And on the exhale, sinking further into the stretch, releasing tension in the back. Good. Coming up into a seated position. If this one's not comfortable, feel free to stand at any time. I'm going to warm up the shoulder girdle now into a working set. So arms out to the side, stacking the spine on top of itself. So strong posture, untucking the pelvis. I'm going to begin with small circles. So moving with the shoulder, not the hands. Chest proud, pushing the shoulders down away from ears. And deep breaths. From here, we're going to go bigger circles. You should start to feel a warm sensation in the shoulders. That's fine. We want that. I'm going to pulse back for 10. But when you're pulsing back, I want you to actively use your shoulder blades. So you've got a P between your shoulder blades on your spine, and you're squishing it right back. Because you can just do this exercise, just moving the arms, but we're actively over-exaggerating the shoulder blades. 3, 2, 1, and rest. I'm going to do that again before going into a working set. Arms by the side, small circles. Into bigger circles. Now you should start to feel a bit warmer, maybe a bit of a burn. Deep breaths and sitting with that uncomfortable feeling, and pulse back, using the shoulder blades, leading the movement. Squishing that P. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and release. A few seconds rest. So we've worked the medial, the sides of the shoulder and the back, and the rhomboids, the muscles around the upper back for good posture. Now we're going to work the fronts of the shoulder. I'm going to bring in a little pulse. So shoulders down away from ears, stacking the vertebrae on top of one another. So sitting tall, small pulse, moving the shoulders. Good. Another 10, 9, 8, and then you've got the option to either rest or hold for an additional 10 seconds. 2, 1, and hold or rest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Do that once more. Inhale to rise and begin the pulse. 20. 8, 7, 2, 1, and hold or rest. 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Feel free to grab a drink. Notice how your shoulders feel right now. Warmth. Working set, so strength training. So we're going to grab your resistance band with an overhand grip. So to make it harder, you want your hands closer together. To make it easier and a bigger range of movement, more muscle fibers stimulate to grow for strength, you want a little bit wider. So we're just going to pulse away, but again, lead with them shoulder blades. Squish that P, actively move them shoulder blades. Another 5, 4, good, 3, 2, 1. So the resistance band is coming towards you. And then for good posture, over your head and coming down like so. But I really want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Notice how that feels. Is there any niggles, any tightness? Really good one for opening up that posture. You might feel tightness in the pecs, in the upper back, just wherever you're tight. Another 5. Good. 2. 1. Good. And release. So physio move next. We're going to do it a couple of times to see the improvements. So you know the pelvic tilts that we do, forwards and backwards, with the core engaged. I want you to posterior tilt the pelvis so your back's completely flat on the floor, it's imprinted. Rib cage switched on, belly button into spine. From here, I'm going to bring our arms out to the side with a good bend, so you're like this. And this is a movement we're going to be doing in a second, from here to here, ideally. However, I don't want your back to rise off the floor, and I want you to push your elbows and wrists into the floor as you rise. Can you keep your wrists and your elbows on the floor with your back not lifting as you're coming up and down? Notice any tightness. So some people, when I've checked them, they've been feeling tight in the pecs, in the shoulder, in the front of the bodies, and other people are weak and tight in the upper back. So coming all the way up and all the way down, pushing your arms and wrists into the floor as much as you can as you're moving. And how does that feel? Good to hear it. It's quite sore, this, isn't it? It's part of the experience, scratching. Now we've all got smooth arms, we're going to do another set of all of that. So did anyone notice any tightness around here, perhaps, around the shoulder girdle? So let's see if we can make a difference now, get more warmth and more fatigue into everything. So arms out to the side, small circles, shoulders down away from ears, stacking the spine and pushing your hips out. Rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine, and bigger circles. Good. 3, 2, 1, and pulse back, leading with the shoulder blades, pushing them shoulders down away from your ears. 5, 4, 2, 1, over to the front, pulse 20. 2, 4, 5, good. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, hold, 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 2, 1, and release. Good. Grabbing our resistance bands, overhand grip, pulsing backwards, and the resistance band is coming close to your chest. Again, leading, you'll feel this at the back of the shoulders. Looking for 10 or as many as you can, keeping control as you're coming back. So 1 second out, 2 seconds back. Another 3, let it burn. 2, make sure you get your protein today to build this strength and muscle. Good, hands over your head. So open up the posture. If you want more resistance, bring your hands closer together, pulling them away from each other. Another 8. Trying to keep your neck forward as normal and neutral. So if you've got tight traps, your neck will want to move forward, so just keep it upright. Another 3, 1. Excellent. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a shake now in the shoulder girdle. And let's compare and see how this exercise feels again. So posterior tilt the pelvis, so completely flatten the back, switch the abs on. The back's fully imprinted. Arms out to the side, without your back lifting, pushing your elbows and wrists on the floor as you're moving as high up as you can. Notice where tenses up. I'm going for 6. And if you can't come all the way up, just stop where you can without the back lifting. One more. Good. Continuing with the shoulder work, a few seconds rest. Oh, still burnt. I think mine is starting to ache from last night. So big shoulder innovator, as I've said before, the side plank dip, hips together, rib cage in, belly button into spine. Sorry, hips stacked. I mean, coming all the way up, coming up a little bit higher to bring in a curve in the sides of the stomach and down again. Full range of movement, hip touching the floor again to get a nice stretch as well. Elbow directly under the shoulder. Looking for 15 or as many as you can. 1 second up, 2 seconds down. Make sure you're feeling it in the sides of your stomach, not your glute. Just place the tension there. 2 more, and then you've got an option of holding for 10 seconds. And hold, good. Keeping that tension. Make sure I have a poke around so it's rock hard. 3, 2, 1, and release. Good, bottom knee comes forward, top knee back. It's nice and warm now, so let's get a stretch in. Inhale to rise, exhale. With your arm over your head. If you loosened off in your shoulder, you might be able to get further over your head. Relaxing the neck, pushing your shoulders away from your ears. Deep breaths, and every exhale, sinking further into the stretch. Inhale to come out. Round 2, same again, elbow directly under the shoulder. 15 again, or as many as you did the first round. Exhale, coming down. Another 3. 1 more. And hold. 10 seconds, last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Stretch it off. Let's see if we can get a little bit further over now. Inhale. Good. Relaxing the neck, pushing your shoulders down. One more deep breath. Excellent. Moving over to the other side. As many as you did on the other side, or 15. Coming down with control, hip all the way down, knees together, ankles together. Pause at the top for a squeeze if you can. 5, 2, more, and hold. Deep breaths, relax the neck. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Bottom knee forward. Mermaid stretch, inhale. Final round when you're ready. Same again. That's 5. Oh, struggling that shoulder. 4. 2. And hold on your last rep. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Oh, that's my weaker side, definitely. Inhale to rise, exhale. One more deep breath in. Good. Feel free to grab a drink of water as we continue with the shoulders and the back of the arms, the triceps. So we'll go into a cat-cow again, just to remobilize everything, see how it feels now. Hopefully less stiff if it was. So if you want to, so all of these next exercises, the push-up, the variations, you're always working the front of the shoulder. You're going to be a little bit further forward than palms directly under the shoulder, a little bit further forward, just to protect your wrists so it's a bit nicer. If you want to work the triceps, the back of the arm, elbows behind you, as far down as you can go. If you want to work the chest, which is a stronger muscle, and incorporate the triceps, elbows out to the side. Only go how far down you're able to go, even if it's just a pulse until you get used to that movement and whatnot. I'm going to go for 12, all the way up, all the way down, dipping, so keeping the hips upright. This is another variation, these are Pilates push-ups, which you're able to do more reps with, keeping your elbows facing behind you. Excellent, Katie, that's exactly it. So you start to feel like a pinching rather than a burning in the triceps. Try and ignore it. Another 5, 4, 3, 2. One more. Go back into child's pose. Exhale. So you can go a little bit wider if you prefer that one. See if we can get in the inner groin stretch and open up the pelvis. Exhale to release the tension in your back. Over to round 2. Same again, or you can go into another variation, the push-ups if you want. When you're ready, try and match the same amount of reps you got the first time with fatigue. So it's okay to be fatigued, it's a sign it's working, but just shake off your arms and then back into it a few more reps. That's how we build strength and endurance through that fatigue failure. Another 5. The slower you come down, the better. One more. Wide stance for the child's pose. Rest. Round 3, as many as you can again. Inhale to rise, exhale to fall. 6, good. Another 2, and then when you've finished the last rep, child's pose. So normally we'd stop there, but we want to make sure it's progressive, it's challenging, we're still building more muscle and strength. I'm going for one last round, so it's 4 sets of 12, 10 to 12. 3. Anything's a bonus now. Hopefully it's more of a pinching you're feeling at the back of the arm. Might feel like it's at the back of the shoulder because it's quite high up. 6, 5. Strengthening the wrist as well. 4, 3, 2. Excellent. Well done. Into child's pose. If you wanted to push, point your toes outwards for a bit of a frog stretch, you get really deep in the joint, if that feels okay. As long as you're not feeling it on your knees. We'll have a little water break. So move over to abs. Okay. Have a feel about, hopefully your arms are feeling a bit fatigued now and a bit tight. Maybe they're still burning. So we're going to start with ankle touches, so shoulders off the floor. So make sure you're leading with your shoulders and not your neck. So neck stays in a line with your shoulders. Coming over left and right, left. Trying to keep the shoulders off the floor. You might feel a bit of tension in the neck. That's normal. Need to strengthen the neck for strong abs anyway. Feeling a squeeze on either sides of the abs. 10, 9. Notice where you feel this. 3, 2, 1. And release. Inhale, arms rise. Pause at the top of full lungs for slowly exhaling. Try not let the back lift as you come over your head. One more slow exhale. Using the diaphragm on the inhale. Scissors next, so extending both legs as straight as you can. Pulling your knee closer to your nose as you swap over, feeling the hamstring stretch. Take your time as you're swapping over because you're loading the abs. Coming up and down with the shoulders. Another 10, 9. Feel yourself loosen off in the hamstrings, the back of the legs. 3, 2, 1. Good. Semi-supine to recover. Inhale, arms rise. One more. Single leg stretch next. Very similar, but we're bending the knee. It's a nice glute stretch. Same kind of idea. Going for 20 this time, or as many as you can. Last 2. You might be feeling your neck a little bit. Rest. Inhale, arms rise. My favourite one for toning the lower core, so the part of the core that's under your belly button, just above that pubis bone. Hip kick-ups, so straightening the legs as much as you can, curving up, kicking the ceiling, and curving down with control, looking for as many as you can or 20. Gets a right good burn going. So try and curve down with the lower spine. Notice where you feel this. This is a lot in the lower abs. 10, 9, 7. Pushing your arms against the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2. One more. Well done. Inhale, arms rise. One more. Next, we're going to straighten the legs as much as you can, but bring them down without your back lifting against the mat. I'm going to do mini knee tucks. It's a bit more of a pulse though. I don't want your back to lift at all. If it is, just dial it back on the pulses or how high the legs are. Going for 15. Notice where you're feeling this burn. That's where you're toning and strengthening. It's working. 5, 4, 3, 2. Good, rest, inhale. This one's a tough one next. So you can use your elbow to come up. It's more important for you building strength and getting the best benefit out of the exercise as you come down on your own. So alternate V-ups, looking left and right, or you can come up with your elbow and then just come down as slow as you can. Going for 15, looking left and right. Halfway. Rest as much as you need to. 5, 4. Let it burn. 3, 2. Meant to be challenging, guys. Inhale, arms rise. I like to throw in more difficult exercises, so then when we do them again in a month or so, you would have hopefully seen you improve. Because if everything's easy and you're not challenged, then it's quite demotivating though when you can't do something, but it's that mindset. I had a client yesterday who's 60. Her whole session was concentrating on her weaknesses, but she was seeing so much change and progress in those weaknesses. Legs up in tabletop. I'm just going to try and touch our toes as high up as you can go for 10. Last exercise and then we'll stretch off and do some mindfulness. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. When you finish the last rep, inhale. One more deep breath. Good. Bringing your feet together and your knees out to the side. This will promote a lower back curve and a bit of an inner groin stretch. Notice if you feel a stretch on one side of your groin more than the other. It's a good indication that you're tight on one side. Just sit with it, try and sink into it shouldn't be painful. You can place your hand under the upper thigh just to help if that's a bit sore, or there's also blocks on the side. You can place a block under either side of your knees. You want to stretch the arms and legs away from the center. Big stretch, like you've just got out of bed. Good. From here, you're in the middle of the mat. I want you to spread your legs as wide as what feels comfortable, but your pelvis doesn't move. Remember that through the next stretch, the pelvis doesn't move at all, it just stays planted in the center. Your right leg comes over across your left leg, so you've got that stretch just above the hip. Maybe you feel it in your glute as well. I want you to hold hands with yourself and lean over to the side that your legs crossed over on, if that makes sense. So now hold that, so you feel a stretch all on one side of the body. So this is a yin yoga stretch. So you might feel tensed up. I want you to relax. So every inhale, push your belly out. And on the exhale, relax further and deeper into the stretch, letting go of the tension. That's the tension being any muscles that have switched on to protect the body. Allow your hip to sink in to the mat with the stretch. 4 more deep breaths. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Are your shoulder blades on the floor? Are both hips on the floor? Where are you feeling this stretch? One more deep breath. Uncrossing the arms and legs, coming into that wide stance with the legs for one moment, just settling back in. Now the opposite side, if it was your right, now your left leg hooks over, holding hands and pushing your shoulders over to the side you're stretching. So you've got a stretch all along one side. So you might feel it underneath the armpit, that's your lats. Again, notice the tightness, the stretch above the hip. Is your back on the floor? Is more hip off the floor? Every inhale, pushing the belly out will bring you out with a stretch slightly, but then your exhale sinks you further into the stretch. 4 more deep breaths. Notice muscles, more muscles are relaxing now. You're just quickly checking in with your body and where's tensed up and you're relaxing it. So you're sinking further, you're melting further into the mat. Untucking the feet. I'm going to do a counter. I'm going to bring our knees in for a hug and roll side to side. Keeping the tailbone on the floor. Next, we're going to shift our hips over to the right and our knees over to the left, stacking your hips and your knees ideally on top of each other, but more importantly, your shoulder blades are on the floor, on the mat. Arms out to the side. I'm just going to settle into that position first. Notice how it feels. Inhale, pushing your abs out. Exhale, sink. Notice where you're feeling that tightness. Is it in the glute? If it's in the above the hip, lower back. You might feel it in the shoulders and chest. If that feels okay and you want to progress it and your shoulders are flat on the floor, extend that top leg and hook your hand over the back of it. 2 deep breaths. Good, want to swap over now. Take your time, bending the knees, moving them over. Shifting your hips over to the left, knees over to the right. Shoulder blades on the floor. Extend that top leg if that feels okay on this side. See if you can feel any muscles being released in tension and just relaxing. See if you notice any subtle differences as you use your breath. Relaxing them shoulders into the mat. Bending both knees, you can come over to the side and carefully take your time coming up into a pigeon pose. We tend to carry a lot of our tension in our glutes. I'm just going to stretch that off. So back leg should be straight in the middle of the mat. As long as you're feeling the stretch in the glute as well. So I'm going to sit with that and allow your hips to sink in. So switch off your thigh muscles, settle in. If that feels all right, you can increase the stretch further and put your forehead to your hands. Relaxing the shoulders, maybe adding more weight to the glute. One more deep breath. Good, and let's swap over to the other side. Settle in first, see how this feels. Should be in the center of your mat. Good. Next inhale, I'm going to come into any seated variation that feels comfortable to you. As we practice some pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. So backs of the forearms on your knees. Feel free to close your eyes. When you do open them again, it'll hopefully feel like a little mini nap. Stacking your spine on top of itself, sitting tall. Rib cage tucked in, belly button into spine. Inhale through the nose and out through the mouth for a moment. And just sitting with your breath, observing. This alternate nostril breathing is really good for relaxation and balances the left and right side hemispheres of the brain. And it's designed because you're counting and you're watching your breath and you're concentrating on switching nostrils, you're not thinking about anything else, it slows everything down. So with the index finger and the thumb, the right hand, you're going to completely close over the right nostril and blow out completely with the left. And then inhale through the left. Close it over and exhale through the right. Again, inhale through the right. Close it over, exhale through the left, count of 4. Inhale, count of 4. Close it over, exhale, count of 4 through the right. As you keep doing this, I want you to incorporate your diaphragm and your ribs on the inhale. Making all the effort to breathe and get that oxygen in. If you want to slow it right down and have more control, exhale and inhale for 5. Your count. Two more rounds.